going to start off with oscillator A on harmonic morph. Move over to your warp and you're going to select PD to B and you're going to set this to 10%. And then you're going to move to your wavetable position and set this to 121. We're going to move over to oscillator B and you're going to start off with a sine wave and you're going to turn up the semitones by +7. And then we're going to move down to our warp function here. You're going to select alt warp and then you're going to go bend ±, and you're going to set this to 13%. And then we're going to move on to filter 1. Your cutoff is going to be set to 43 Hertz and it's only going to be affecting oscillator A, and we've got key tracking on. And for envelope 1, you're going to copy our ADSR settings down below. So we're using LFO1 to control our warp on oscillator A, so you can just drag this over here. And moving on to LFO2, we're using this to control our coarse pitch. And once you've set LFO2 to your coarse pitch, you're going to head over to the matrix and turn it up to 19%. And then moving on to LFO3. LFO3 is controlling our cutoff filter. And if we go over to our matrix, you can turn the amount up by 70%. Next, you're going to turn on your portamento, so set this to always, and then set the portamento to 0.2 milliseconds. It's a very small amount, but it's just going to add a little bit of glide between the notes. And then let's head over to our effects. So we're starting off with a distortion, and our drive is set to 65%, and our mix is at 100%, and we're using the soft clipper. And for your chorus, make sure BPM sync is on, and you're going to attach one of these macros here to the mix level, and you can turn the chorus up to +20 using your macro. And then we're going to move on to the EQ. We're just bringing out some of that top end, and then if we look at our compressor, we're using the multi-band, and we're bringing out some of that top end again, and bringing out that low end energy. So we're using a ping pong delay, and again, attach one of your macros to the mix level. You can set your left and right to quarter notes, and then the feedback is going to be set to 40%. I've set this to +11. And then we can move on to our reverb, attach the macro to the mix, and then we're just using a Hall verb, and the decay time is set to 3.6 seconds, and the size is set to 28%. And then finally, we've got hyperdimension, and this is where we're using our fourth macro to control the mix level, and set this to +24.